friends, it is Kate here. Thank you so much for jumping on my channel and joining me for a class today. I've got a 20-minute yoga Pilates fusion class just for you. Now, I would call this beginner to intermediate. It is going to be about plank and side plank a little bit, which can be a more challenging pose for some of us. So we'll still go slow. We'll talk a lot about alignment, a lot about muscle activation, just like always, but know that it is a bigger pose that we're leading ourselves to. Roll out your mat, let's get started. We'll start near the front of our mat with our feet about hip distance apart. Top of the head reaching high, shoulders broad, already begin to turn on the center of our body. Think of belly button in, ribs closing together in front of our body, shoulders kissing together behind our body. Take a great big inhale. As you exhale, cinch the waist, tone your inner thighs towards one another. Another breath. As you exhale this time, allow your chin to drop to your chest, lightly bend your knees. Watch your knees. Hopefully they're tracking in line with your toes, not off to the side or knocking together. Let yourself forward fold to whatever depth feels good for you. Maybe your fingertips can touch the floor like mine are. Maybe you're up a little higher. That is wonderful. Wherever you are though, pull that navel in a little bit more. Think about opening up through the back of the body, just rounding, just lightly opening. Take a big deep inhale. As you exhale, cinch your waist more. Start to re-stack the spine. One vertebra at a time to return to upright. Big inhale, exhale, chin to chest. Bend the knees, roll yourself down, fingertips dangling, top of the head, reaching for the mat beneath you. Take a moment to arrive here. Maybe you're a little deeper, maybe you're a little more shallow, that's okay. And roll yourself right on back up. Now this next time, we will roll down and stay. So take a breath, exhale, chin to chest, light bend in the knees, soften yourself as far down as whatever feels good for you. And now from here, I want you to take a moment to really notice. Did your shoulders climb up to your ears? We want to let them settle down the back. We still want good posture even while we're in a forward fold. That might feel a little counterintuitive, but we haven't let those muscles in the back of our body totally relax. Now, from here, pull that belly button in, take a big inhale. I want you to imagine stamping down into the floor with your feet and almost think, I know this is a little bit violent, but think if someone just punched you in the belly. A little punch to the gut turns on those abdominal muscles and forces me to lift up about 3 to 5 inches. And then I inhale and roll back down. Exhale, tone the tummy, lift up. Inhale, let yourself roll further down. 2 more, exhale up. Inhale, roll her down. Last one, exhale up. Inhale all the way down. Hands touch the floor, and I want you to step back to a great big plank pose. Now, if we're not ready for that and we need to come to a tabletop instead of plank, set those knees down. That's okay. Just like we did a moment ago, I want us to find that length from the top of our head through our body down to our heels. It's like we're still standing upright. Is there any more space you can create shoulder to shoulder? We don't want to cave in. We certainly don't want to let our pelvis fall to the ground. I would 100% rather your hips be up a little too high than ever let this sort of action happen. So find even as a plank as you possibly can find, whatever works best for your body. Take a big, deep inhale. Exhale, push that floor away, broaden your shoulders. Another big breath. And now exhale, drop one knee and the other knee down. We can sink back into a little child's pose. Crawl the fingertips out and away. Take a big deep inhale. Great big sigh out. Rise up to your hands and your knees. Once more, we're going to come to that our plank pose. So extend one foot out, belly button in. It's that punch to the gut as you exhale and lift up into your plank pose. Great big full inhale. Exhale, cinch the waist. Another big deep inhale. This time, tip back and find your downward facing dog. Once you arrive here, we can pedal out those feet. We can sway our hips, nod the head. Some of us may love downward dog. For me, this is a spot where I come to all the time, and I just enjoy finding creative and easy movement in my body. For others, downward dog is not one of our favorite poses, and that's okay. Things that we can help make it a little bit better are knowing that you can always bend your knees. Downward dog, many people think it's about shoving your heels down. It's really not. It's that length we're finding in our low back, in our spine. So press into the mat. It's like you're trying to press your hips, your whole body away, while your fingertips are suction cupped to the floor. And know, again, you can always deeply bend those knees as much as you want to. Now from here, I want you to take a big, deep, full inhale. Great big sigh out the mouth. And then 3 times, we're going to inhale, wave, propel yourself forward back to your plank pose. Exhale, tone the tummy, send those hips back, find your downward dog. Inhale, wave through your body, find your plank pose. Exhale, hips back. It's that same feeling we had earlier, almost that punch to the gut kind of feeling to, turn those tummy muscles on, lift your hips higher. Last time, wave forward, find your plank pose, stay for a breath, take an inhale, lower the knees down. Once more, sink into your child's pose. Knees together or apart, whatever works best for your body. Slowly rise back up to your hands and your knees. Let's tip ourselves back and just find our downward facing dog. Low belly in, shoulders down the back, full breath. And then from here, can we step our right foot forward? Now, if you need to give yourself a hand to bring that right foot forward, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. We want to technically surround our foot with our hands, but if it's too much for us and we either need a block or you need to set your knee down, you need to do whatever you can to find a lunge in your body. That's perfectly fine. When I arrive in a low crescent lunge like I am now, oftentimes I might sway a little side to side or even forward and back, just getting used to the feeling. You can even drop the knee down for a moment if that feels better for your body. I just wanted to take a big deep inhale. And then as we exhale, it's that punch to the gut feeling again. Step back, find your plank pose. Take a great big breath. Big sigh out. One more deep inhale. Slowly set the knees down. Sink back into your child's pose. Take a full inhale. Big sigh out. Rock yourself up. Find your downward facing dog. Spend a moment or two here, maybe bounce a little on the feet, maybe sway those hips. Anything that feels good to you is always open. And then we'll step our left foot forward. And again, if you need to give your foot a little scoop to get on up there, if you need to wiggle around and find a little movement in your body, that's fine. But enjoy this great big lunge. Notice again, do you want to rock side to side, forward and back? What do you want to think about? Even here, I am imagining pulling that tummy in. I almost imagine pulling my belly button away from the top of my left thigh. Now, obviously, that's not going to happen, but it's that feeling of lifting up, of turning on all those abdominal muscles. And then we're going to step back to our plank pose, just like we did on the other side, using an exhale. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, plank. Another big inhale. And drop yourself down. Find that child's pose. Once more, full inhale. One more time, let's tip back, find our downward dog, and we're gonna do our little wave through our plank and to our dog once more, about 3 times. Inhale, roll forward, find your plank. Exhale, tone the tummy, downward dog. Inhale, find your plank. Exhale, downward dog. Last one, inhale, way forward, find your plank. Take a great big breath. I want you to drop just the left knee. Turn your left toes behind you and stack the hips. My left hand, my left knee are on the mat, and I'm gonna lift my right hand high, finding a lovely modified side plank. Now, adjust all you need to, do whatever works best for your body, but I want you to think about lifting up through your left side body as you reach your right hand high. This might be enough for us to stay. Maybe reach that hand over the head for a great, big, glorious stretch. Hand can stay right here for a moment or two, but eventually we'll take it either up to the sky or to our hip. Now from here, you might need to crawl your left hand further away because I want us to lift up our right leg. Point or flex the toe, whatever works better for you, but find that line from the tip of your toe through your body, almost trying to flatten out the front of your right hip. If you're letting your tissue kind of dip back, if there's a great big crease there, can you think of lifting up? Could you imagine a little string attached to your hip, pulling it up to the sky? 3 times I want you to touch your toe down to the ground. Exhale, cinch the waist, lift the toe back up. Inhale, touch the toe down to the ground. Exhale, lift it right back up. Last one, touch the toe down to the ground. Exhale, lift it up. Now, extend your right hand up overhead. Almost imagine I'm holding onto your wrist and your ankle, and you are being pulled apart to find a big, beautiful stretch all through that side. Take a breath. Drop your foot down to the ground. Drop your hand down to the ground. We're going to lift up into our plank pose. Take a big inhale. Exhale, plank. Another big breath. Find your downward dog. One more inhale here. Let it go. Rock yourself back forward. Now this time in our plank pose, we're just going to drop our right knee. I want you to kick your right leg away from you, stack the hips. As we did on our other side, hips want to be level. We want to lift our hand up, and you can start with just that big stretch that we did on this side. You could take that hand over the head again. Maybe play with where your gaze is. Maybe just notice what's kind of changed from one side to the other. That's always fine. And then like we did on the other side, hand will rise up. It can come to your hip. We might need to crawl our hand further away from us so we can easily lift that foot up. Now notice, do you want to point or flex the foot? What did you do on the first side? That spot where your thigh and your glute connect, tone it, squeeze it just a little bit. Lift through that side belly. Take your hand up high. Just as we did on the other side, 3 times. Inhale, touch your toe down to the ground. Exhale, cinch the waist, lift. Inhale, touch the toe down to the ground. Exhale, lift. Last one, touch the toe down to the ground. Exhale, lift. From here, we will drop our foot, drop our hand, return to your plank using your exhale. Big inhale to prepare. Exhale, plank pose. Full deep inhale here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Sway those hips, nod the head a little. Anything that's calling to you is, of course, open. Take a big, deep breath. Great big sigh out. And then again, we're going to step forward into a low lunge using our right foot first. This time, again, we're going to think about that punch to the gut feeling, that lift we can find in our low belly. Adjust the feet all you need to, but from here, big deep inhale. Press so much into your front foot and pull your belly button up so much that you must hover your hands off the mat. That would be very impressive if you could hover your hands and feet away. This is a big spot for some of us. If we can only do it for a second, need to bring our fingertips back down to the ground, that's great. But for those of us that can hold here, kiss those shoulder blades in. Keep pulling your belly button away from the top of your thigh, and think of sending your left heel closer to the mat behind you. Take a big deep inhale. Great big breath out. Another big deep inhale. Exhale, we're going to find our plank, remembering that punch to the gut, tummy in. Big inhale. Send yourself back. Find your downward facing dog. When you're ready, left foot will step forward. Find the beginning of that low lunge. Remember what's about to happen. What do you want to focus on this side? Do we need to think about bringing our front heel towards our back toe so we can find that lift between our inner thighs? Do we want to think about opening up our shoulders, or maybe the top of the head reaching further away? Whatever your body is calling for, take a breath. Exhale, hover up. I'm almost thinking that there are weights in my hand, that it was hard, it was challenging to lift those fingertips up and away. My belly is just cinching, that little belt is pulling in. I am still trying to drag my front heel towards my back toe so I can find that activation between my inner thighs. Take a big inhale. Set the hands down, exhale, plank. One more deep inhale here. Find your dog. Give yourself a great big breath. Let it go. And then when you're ready, once more, we're going to roll forward and find our our plank pose. Drop the left knee. Turn the toes, stack the hands, the shoulders, just as we did on the other side. If you need to wiggle those fingertips out, do it. Big, deep inhale. Tone the tummy, lift your foot up. From here, all I want us to do are our favorite tiny circles. Yes. Reach your toe further away. Lift up through that side body. Tone the spot where your thigh and your glute connect. And give me 5 tiny circles forward and back. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Tone that tummy. Reach the toe away. Reverse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Reach your fingertips up. Find that space, shoulder to shoulder. Let's do it again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Last time. Reverse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Big deep inhale. Let's all at once exhale and return to your plank. Hold for the breath. Exhale, tip back, downward dog. Allow yourself to settle. That was a big one. If you need to melt down into your child's pose before we do our second side, you do you. Roll forward. Find that plank. You know what's coming. Drop the right knee. Turn the toe out. Start to stack yourself up. Adjust however you need to and float your foot up. Find that lovely modified side plank. We're reaching that toe further and further away. We're lifting up through our side body. I'm toning that spot where my thigh and my glute connect so much I could hold a pencil there. Tiny circle time, my friends. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Keep going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Tone the belly. Lift the fingertips high. Again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Last time. Reverse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big deep inhale. Exhale, plank pose. Big breath here. Exhale, tip back. From here, let's lower down. Find a child's pose. Knees together or apart. Crawl your fingertips further and further away. If we need a little stretch through our arms, one of my favorite ways to do that is drop my elbows down, bring my hands either to a prayer or clasp them, and then try and touch the back of my neck with my hands. For me, I get a little bit of stretch through the back of my arms there. And after a little bit of upper body work like plank, that can often feel nice in my body. Take a breath. Big sigh out. Release the hands. Roll yourself up to a seat. Press your palms into your thighs. Roll those shoulders back, belly button in. Almost imagine you're trying to lift up and out of your waist. Take a big deep inhale. Big sigh out. Inhale, lift the hands up high. Exhale, flip them, bring them down. Go ahead, take those feet out in front of you and find a nice easy seat. If we've got a little bend in our knees, that's always fine. But what is important is finding that length through the back of our body. Reach the feet long, keep them bent, but wherever you are, actively flex your toes, trying to pull them up towards your face. Once more, hands pressing down into the tops of the thighs so you can sit up tall and straight. My whole body is nice and active here, even though I'm in a seated position. If you're in the mood, take those hands overhead, lift up out of your waist. Exhale, find a bit of a stretch to the back of the body. Does this look familiar at all to you? This should very much look like our downward facing dog, what we've been doing all day. If we've got bent knees, that's okay, because again, right now, it's about lengthening through our spine, just like in our downward facing dog. Take another breath. Now go ahead and forward fold, similar to what we did at the start of class. Just like when we forward fold earlier, reaching for our toes, it's not about shoving our head close to our legs, but finding that openness to the back of our body. Take a big deep inhale. Same thing. Punch the gut to roll yourself all the way up to a seat. Inhale, sweep those hands up high, lift up out of your waist. Again, find that length. It's like we're still in our downward dog. Big breath here. Exhale, roll over the legs. Another breath. Punch to the gut, roll yourself up. Take a nice big deep inhale, let those shoulders slide up. Exhale, soften. Give yourself a little pat on the back. Thank yourself for doing something just for you, and I am so glad you jumped on your mat with me today and joined me for a class. I certainly hope to see you soon.